Hi, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. And today I have something from the Glen Els Distillery. This is actually called the Distillery Edition, and this is one of 2,394 bottles available. And this is a whiskey made in Germany, made in the Harz Mountains, that was actually matured in only sherry barrels. Some of them were PX sherry, some of them were Oloroso sherry, and some of them were cream sherry barrels. I've never heard of anyone actually putting on their box cream sherry barrels. So I like cream sherry, and I have no idea what's the difference between the cream sherry and the Oloroso sherry. All right, so this has 45.9% ABV, and this is 69 euros and 50 cents. So we're talking about $85 more or less. For many years, for the last 2 years basically, there have not been any distillery editions because the demand was much higher than the supply could ever be. And the master distiller, Alex Buchholz, just decided to say, okay, stop, we're going to have a little bit of break, and then we're going to continue on. And so this is the continuation of the series, the Distillery Edition, and matured in the best sherry cask from Jerez in Spain. And this is actually the 2018 edition. The place that they distill at is called the Hammerschmied. Hammer is hammer, and Schmied is a forgery or blacksmith. Now, in the Harz Mountains, we used to mine for iron ore and other types of ores, and they would actually take that and then make different metals out of that. And they would hammer those metal into agricultural tools, other type of tools, machines, and so on and so on. That was one of the reasons why way back in the 14th, 15th, 16th century, that in this area of Germany there were a lot of, as the Romans called them back then, barbarians, that actually had metal weapons, bronze and iron, as well as up until steel. So there's a city not that far away from this area called Salzgitter, and Mr. Adolf Hitler actually created this place for his steel refineries and in order to produce steel because of the resources that were close by. All right, enough of the history lesson. Let's go back now here to this whiskey, one of 2,394 bottles. So a normal sherry butt has 500 liters, and let's say this is a 5 to 6 year old, so there's an angel share of they have an angel share between 6 and 14%. So let's say there's an 8% angel share over the last, I don't know, 5 years, so that's like 40% they lost. So that's 300 liters that they get per sherry barrel, about. So that would be 500 bottles. They need basically 5 sherry butts to do the 2,394 bottles. So I guess I would take 2 PX, 2 Oloroso, and 1 sherry cream. Oh, this is very nice. It's a great sherry nose. In my German video, I compared it instantly to Glendronach, 12-year-old. I actually picked up the bottle and tried it, and it's a little bit different, to be honest. And today I'm going to compare it to something totally different. Oh, where did I put that? I'm sorry. And this was actually finished. It's a 12-year-old, not great, turning my back to you, I'm sorry. It's a 12-year-old Irish whiskey. It's from the Quiet Man, which I hopefully, if everything goes well, I've contacted them already, I'll be able to visit in the summer of 2018 in Derry. Yay! I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm just going to compare this with this and see what happens. All right, so my nose says, yep, that's Oloroso sherry, and my nose says Yes, this is a mixture of PX and Oloroso sherry. I like cream sherry, and I do have that nose in there, but I've never had that before in a whiskey, so I'm not really sure if I'm just imagining it or if I can really, really distinguish that nose. Very, very nice. This is darker, this is richer, this is lighter, and it's less fruity. It's a little bit more smooth. So, I have to taste this first before I compare it. 45.9%. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. The unique thing about the Glen Els Distillery is for this, if I'm correctly informed, 95% of it is just single malt. It's just malted barley, and then 5% of it actually has smoked malted barley, and they use wood, beech wood from the area, and as well as Earl to smoke the malted barley, and then they distill it. And so there's a minimal, tiny little touch of that wooden smoke, not any type of peat. It's not peated at all, just a little bit of smoke in there. And it really wasn't, for me, evident. And I pulled out the Glendronach. I nosed it, and I nosed that, and I can do my quiet man here. And it's like, oh, there's a little bit of something in the background there. You really get it, but it doesn't really bother me. And I'm not a big fan of anything smoked or peated. But this is more perfume. Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow. A single malt, but those 12 years and that finish in those sherry casks, wow. This was really, really good. I think I gave this like an A-. This is a B-. This is very nice. If you could ever get your hands on one of these, I'm sure many people would just love this. And there's people in Germany that just say, hey, Glen Els is the best German whiskey distiller there is. And it's very, very, very unique because there's more demand than there is supply, and the master distiller wants to keep it that way. He's very, very satisfied with his job. He's very, very satisfied that he has a great team around him, and he doesn't want to expand and turn it into some type of industrial plant. It is a craft that he is actually performing, and every single thing, every single moment of the life of this whiskey is, I think they say every single bottle between the time that it comes in as grain and the time it leaves it in the package has been touched by 17 different pairs of hands. And that is, of course, quality control as well. And that's also a very, very nice thing. So, nice. It's a definite solid B-. Now, value for money, I'm just going to call it a C. 70 euros for a limited edition for 45.9% ABV German whiskey, matured solely in Oloroso, PX, and Sherry Casks. What I'm going to do is one last time I'm going to try this, which I did not do in my German video. And I'm going to put a few drops of water in it just to see what happens, see if it opens up and so on. I love doing that. So 1, 2, 3. Really just a few drops. That smoke comes out a little bit more. It gets a little bit more sawdusty. Yeah, and there's a little bit more bitter. So now what I'm going to do, what I also didn't do in my German video, is I'm going to dilute it down by like 30-some%. I get the pine needles now. And that's one of the things they actually said, and that's really weird. During the distillery tour, they said that many, many people actually, because of the environment, we talk about maybe 15% is from the new make, let's say about 70 to 80% is the barrels they use, and about 5% is around that environment, the surroundings. Old Pulteney, you have the saltiness. Islay, you have the saltiness, and even things that aren't using peat sometimes have a peaty moment as well. And this actually has those pine needles. It's like black forest type of pine needles around there, and you have the woods. And that's really, really amazing. And that's at 5% of the smoked barley. Mmm. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Very creamy. Very nice. Wow. That's for me a telltale of a very, very good whiskey. I can dilute it down to 30% and I still enjoy it. And it's just not flat, and it still has that character. And all the alcohol is basically dissipated, and you have all that. It's oily, actually. Wow. I'm going to have to really, really revisit this and enjoy this even more. This is some good stuff. All right, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany. My question is, what is your favorite sherry matured whiskey? Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to call, which one is it? This is some good stuff. Glengoyne. Now, I'm not 100% sure. It has been matured for 21 years, and I thought all the time it was in a sherry cask. I'm not sure. Very, very nice. So what is your favorite sherry matured whiskey? Not finished, but matured whiskey. I think that's actually vetting of bourbon and sherry together. But still, that's a very, very nice stuff. I enjoy this. This is nice. All right, thank you very much for watching. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, my videos come out. And please tell others. I would like to have a few more subscribers. A lot of videos are being produced here, and it's all about rare and exotic whiskeys you'll probably never see or even get your hands on, but still it's unique, and I think that makes me special. All right, see you. WhiskyJason here. Bye-bye.